Looks like everything's streaming alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and start. And just to make sure, because I'm paranoid. Okay, looks like everything's streaming. No, it's not muted. Haha. Alright. Hello everyone, this is Chris Ingerson, and it is February 7th, and this is the February 7th TextQuest Devstream. So, today we're going to be doing some more stuff in the woods. Primarily we're going to be focusing on getting level wrapping to work, although I think we're going to start with something a little bit easier, which is sort of swap. Well, I guess I'll just show you what I'm going to do. And as a quick status update, last Thursday we left off with getting the forest to properly spawn and despawn chunks as you travel through it. So for now, you can see I finally got that working. You can see that we're moving around and sections are spawning in and out as needed. Now I don't have this quite set up perfectly yet. I don't have it working with walls very well, so it does not currently despawn walls that have been spawned underneath sections. That's something that we need to do. And in addition to that, and on that topic actually, I would like to move the tree positioning from basically from the from being prefabs underneath, or from being meshes underneath the prefab to being actual meshes that I can control when they spawn in. So instead of having one big prefab that is, for example, this corner piece here, which includes the trees, I would like to have the ground is the only thing that the prefab is, the ground and its zone collider, and everything else, the trees and whatever else I want to spawn in, will actually be spawned in on top of that, but as separate prefabs, and I can determine their positioning a little bit easier. That would be my preference. The reason for that is just so that I don't have all of this sort of tree, or all of these trees in here underneath each and every prefab. Instead, I can just have a very, very basic base prefab that I can then build on top of. So I think we're going to start by breaking some of that functionality out today, and then hopefully we'll be able to get into the actual level wrapping, but depending on how far down that rabbit hole we end up going, we might not get too much further. And actually, probably after we do that, I'm going to fix this stupid sound bug. It's been on my list of things to do. Give us something interesting to look at least. So, let's go ahead and open up our Woods layout script. Okay, well, while Visual Studio's open up, I'm going to get a drink. Alright, close all this stuff. I also, over the weekend, worked on some custom content creation stuff. Hello, 18 Mark Wick. How have you been? Let's see, close this stuff. Okay, Woods layout. Let's also take a look at Woods layout window here. Woods layout. Come on, Woods layout window. Here we are. And I'll go ahead and open that up. Window, CPL, TextQuest, Woods layout. Alright. So, we got all of our shift stuff working. We got our size, resize, and working. So currently, these are our options for when we actually start editing a section. And what we'll probably do is add another drop-down section here for, I guess, clutter? Well, probably should be. See, I'm not sure if I'm crazy enough to want to assign individual tree positions for every single section. I'm not that crazy, so instead I'll probably just have sort of prefabs that I can spawn in that are the rough positioning for things. But, well, then again, that might not work actually. Because you have problems with, let's go ahead and play. We have problems with positioning, so you can't have the exact same tree positions on every section. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, right, it's because they're despawning. Um, so currently, all of these sections pretty much have the exact same tree positioning, except for these path pieces. These ones have more sort of slightly adjusted sections, mostly because the trees obviously can't be in the center like they could with, an empty section. So, for example, this is an empty sections tree layout, but if we go up here to our corner piece, you can obviously see that that's not going to work because it would be right in the middle of the path. That just doesn't make sense. Um, Finding a new game to get into is hard. You mean a new game to start playing or a new game to develop on? Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and do, I guess, basic. Well, this is where it's annoying. I wonder if I could have a default parameter set that then I can tweak so that the tree positions aren't super crazy. Basically, I just don't want to have to constantly set, like, I don't want to have to set 3 trees are going to go in this section for every single section, because that's, like, looking at that's unrealistic. I would spend all day doing that. So I need to come up with a better system that lets me have good default parameters, basically probably whatever an empty one is, and then I can state whether I want 0 trees or 2 trees or yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, let's experiment. So, let's go over here to woods layout element. Have all of our stuff in it. Trying to get addicted to a new game. Where are all the good games? I do not know. I'm trying to think, what am I playing right now? I guess I'm playing Tales of Berseria. It's decent. Nothing crazy. But I think it's better than Zestiria right now. Let's see. Where do I want to stick this? I could probably put this. Probably needs to be its own data class, actually. Boo. Alright. Let's go ahead and collapse everything so I can conveniently get to it. Scripts. Let's look for woods layout. Okay. So create C# script woods layout. Do I want to call it clutter, I guess? Clutter type. Because I might just use this also for the gravestones. All. It's also going to cut down on the number of prefabs I need, which is actually kind of nice. Okay, what's layout clutter type? Put this in text west. Make it a enum. We're going to say none equals 0. Trees equals 1. Let's do 5. No, let's do 10, just to be safe. And then gravestone equals 20. Okay. Don't need anything there. So that's going to be our enum dropdown that we can adjust. And we'll probably put it in here somewhere. Probably underneath wrapping. But above walls. Or actually, no, it'd be underneath walls. Let's do that. And let's see. Back to woods layout element. I wonder if we can get away with having a base prefab that's referenced by enum, and then we can have a rotation for it. Worth a try. Looking for a nice single-player, multiplayer experience. I don't know. I can't really think of anything. I guess technically the Tales games are multiplayer and single player, but that is heavily dependent on if you like JRPGs or not. So let's do public woods layout clutter type clutter equals clutter.none. Oh yeah, have you not seen the new avatar? It's fairly basic right now, but I'm slowly adding features to it and animations and such as I go along. Basically, right now it's just the two or three, I guess: idle, talk, and point. Let's see. So we have our clutter type now. Let's go back to our woods out window. Oh, and I guess we're going to want a rotation. So let's say public float clutter rotation equals 0f. And we'll make that a range. 0f to 360f. We can't go outside of it. No point in having rotation above 360 and below 0. Alright. Draw a section. Active section. Here we are. Header 1 for wrapping. Header 2 for walls. Okay. Now let's do if custom editor utility dot raw header 3 new GUI content walls, or not walls, clutter only has 2 T's. Saw it a few, but the hand gesture, oh yeah, it was probably a test animation. Yeah, I actually have another one that was sort of thrown together. I really need to consolidate them. I have about 5 or 6 animations now. They're just not in the actual like stable one, but they do technically exist. I might end up moving it over from Flash to Unity just to see what I can do with the microphone there. Okay, so we're going to say, oh boy, this is not going to be fun. Let's do this. Okay. Begin vertical, end vertical, text area. Okay, so we're going to say element dot clutter is equal to woods layout. Clutter, and then element dot clutter rotation is equal to editor GUI layout dot float field. Let's see, new GUI content and element dot clutter rotation. Ah. Don't know what I ate, but it's not agreeing with me today. Alright. So we have that set up. Let's go ahead and say clutter rotation. And let's see what that looks like. So that should pop up down here at the bottom. Shazam. Poof. There we go. I gotta say, I like that my my view down here will auto expand. That's actually really, really nice. Ah, happy accidents in editor coding. Okay, so we change that to trees. Clutter rotation is that's a float field. Can I change that to actually editor GUI layout dot? I doubt I would be able to do a range. Can I do like a slider? Yes. Well, sort of. So I can do an in slider, but not a. I guess it would just be a slider. Okay. So I'm just going to do that then. Slider. And let's see. What are my options here? Float, serialized property, float, float, float. Really, I can't. Huh. That's weird. I can't give it a GUI content. Fine. That's really awkward. Well, I guess in that case, it's going to be go ahead and say editor GUI layout dot slider. Value is going to be element dot clutter rotation. Left value is going to be 0f. Right value is going to be 360f. And that's pretty much it. God, this is going to be really weird. Okay. For the sake of nice editor, or having a nice editor, we're going to say rect slider rect. No, not that. Clutter rotation rect equals editor GUI layout dot get control rect. This just grabs a rectangle control for something that would take up one line, and then we're going to say rect. This is going to be label rect equals new. Oh, not new float. New rect from rotation rect. Rect. Slider rect. Can't spell. Equals new rect. Seriously, why does it keep going to float? New rect. Rotation rect. Alright, we're going to say slider rect dot width minus equal label rect. Slider rect dot x plus equal label rect dot width. Okay, and then label rect dot width is equal to editor GUI utility dot. I think I can say label width. Yep. Okay. Now that should cause them to both draw properly. So I'm guessing I can say editor GUI slider, and then just pass it slider rect. I don't think I need anything else. Good. And then I can say editor GUI dot label field label rect new GUI content. I'm a sucker for nice inspectors, so let's do content, or not content, clutter rotation. Okay, now let's see what that looks like, and hope that it doesn't break horribly, because it probably will. And not bad. There we go. That's pretty much what I was expecting. So we now have our slider from 0 to 360, and it's all on one nice thing with a label. Just love it. Okay, so let's see here. Jeez. So let's go to our woods layout. Don't need our clutter type anymore. I probably should start doing some sort of management for this, otherwise my inspector is going to get pretty long. But yeah, we'll see what it is. So public. No, actually, you know what? It's going to be another list, so I'm going to come up with a quick data class. So create C# script woods layout clutter. Back, front, and center. Not quite. It's all rotation. There is no back, front, and center for that. Okay, I'm going to clear that. Let's lay out clutter. Reload. I hate when it does that. Okay, so this is going to be system.serializable public woods. Oh, right. Text quest, capital T. Woods layout. Clutter type, and I'm going to make this a struct. Public game object prefab. Okay, simple as that. Let that compile. Oh, I guess I am going to need a property drawer for that. compile. I can do nothing while you compile. Create C# script. This is going to be woods layout clutter drawer. One day it will compile. Okay, woods layout clutter. Seriously? There. Okay. Using Unity editor. Property drawer, custom property drawer, type of nothing for now. Text quest, woods layout, clutter. There we are. And we're going to say override on GUI. Rect. Let's do type rect is equal to position. Or not equal to that. We're going to say new rect from position. Type rect dot width times equals 0.5f. And then rect field rect. I guess we'll call it prefab rect. New rect type rect, and then prefab rect dot x plus equal type rect dot width. Nice and simple. And we're just going to say editor GUI dot property field type rect property. Property relative. What was it? Just type in prefab. Good. Type. And we're pretty much going to do the same thing. Except we're going to say prefab rect and prefab. Boom. Okay. Now back here at woods layout, I'm going to say public list woods clutter equals new. Okay. So now I should actually be able to sort of assign prefabs to specific clutter types and have it be visually interesting. Yeah, get wrecked. Let's see. So clutter. Oh, right. I always forget that. I gotta say GUI content.none, or else it's gonna try to put labels there. You can see that makes everything squished horribly. So we say GUI content.none, that gets rid of the labels, and then we have the full width to use. Ta-da! Works pretty well, actually. So let's see. So we can do trees, and we can do gravestones. Okay. Now, the real trick, and this is what's going to be fun, is we need to find a way to, well, basically allow rotation on these. Because the ideal behavior would be I can just, parent these things to their ground section, and then we'd be done with them. We don't have to worry anymore. But the problem is, if I play and then pause, the ground section's pivot is not in their center. It's actually at the bottom left. So you can see that it's hovering over here. And that means that anything that's parented is going to start there. So if I try to parent, say, a tree, it's going to be down here at the bottom left, not in the center. And if I parent a prefab, it's going to be centered down there. And if I try to rotate it, even if I position them properly to look like they're actually in bounds, if I rotate it, it's going to rotate around that pivot point. So I need to come up with a better way of doing that. Um, the easiest thing to do is basically to spawn or to put the prefab underneath the section and then move it to the center based on the width and height of the sections, which is just 10 units. So that would put it in the center. That would mean that if it rotated, it would rotate around the center as opposed to the corner. It would still look all right. So, yeah, I guess we'll do that. We'll do the offset stuff. Let's see. What's the clutter draw? I don't need that anymore. And see, and this is also it's gonna get kind of messy. Oh God. Let's just see what happens here if this works. Private dictionary wood section game object section clutter new dictionary. So I'm basically going to use a dictionary where the key is a wood section and the value is the game object or the clutter. And the key is going to be the section that the clutter gets placed under. So that way when I start despawning things, I can properly pull them out and recycle them. So let's go ahead and say let's come down here. And let's see, we have get section, initialize, reinitialize, shift elements, spawn sections, spawn section, player enter zone, get wall prefab. Okay. Private game object, get clutter prefab based on woods layout clutter type switch type default return no So let's see, case clutter type dot trees. We'll say, well, see, no, that's actually, yeah, I don't want to switch type here. That's kind of stupid. Instead, I'm going to say game object prefab equals clutter dot first or default c dot type is equal to type. Why do you not like that? Oh, right. So we're going to say woods layout clutter. And then return prefab is equal to null, question mark, return null. Else return prefab dot prefab. Right. I forgot it says. I gotta remember how to do this. Actually, if I remember correctly, there's some weird oddity, so I can say if prefab is equal null here. No, there's a way to do this, and I can never remember what it is. I can't just say if prefab. I know it. I know I've done it. I just can't think of it. Because I've been trying to get more into using structs, mostly because they're less intensive than full-on classes. But these comparisons are always annoying. plain scrap mechanic. What is scrap mechanic? Prefab is equal to... Damn, I can't say dot. I guess I could try this. So we're going to say return prefab dot equals no question mark no else prefab dot prefab. Man. All right. So that's going to get us our prefab to spawn in underneath the section. Not done yet, though. And we're going to say, so we're initializing, don't need to worry about that. Don't need to worry about shifting elements. Spawn sections, here we are. Go to definition. Go to definition. Spawn section, give us our index. Alright. And then if element dot crap, what do they call it? Clutter does not equal none. Okay. We're going to say game object clutter is equal to get clutter prefab element dot clutter, and we gotta say pool manager dot request and we're gonna give it section dot transform as the parent, and that's pretty much yep. Don't need to worry about anything else. And then we're gonna say clutter dot local. It's gonna be transform dot local position is equal to new vector 3, and it's going to be section size dot I guess section size is just a float, okay, divided by 2f 0f section size divided by 2f comma. So that gives us our local position, and then we're going to say clutter dot transform dot local rotation equals quaternion dot Euler, then new, oh come on, vector 3 0f element dot clutter rotation 0f. Okay, then section clutter of section is equal to clutter. Jeez. Okay, I think that works. And let's see. So we're going to say down here in the despawn section. So that was our spawn logic. And that should actually get things spawning in. But before we can actually finish that, we want to make sure that we despawn them. So we're going to say would. Oh wait, no. Section clutter. There we go. Section clutter of section. We're going to say pool manager dot recycle. Section clutter. Blah blah blah. Okay. we'll say section clutter dot remove, and we'll say section, so we don't have that value. Okay, so then we remove all of our section information, and that should handle that. So now it should actually recycle everything. So as a quick test case, I'm going to get rid of I'm going to get rid of the trees on the empty sections, and I'm going to change them to spawn in a prefab. So where are my sections? Here we are. Ground grass. Okay. This is going to be weird. We're going to do our best here. Continue. We're going to say position is 5 by 5. Put the trees underneath it again. And then move this to 0. We're going to apply our changes here on the ground grass. Okay. And let's see. Change all this to default. And that should be pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and say create folder clutter. Move trees down here. Okay. So everything's almost set up. I got to come back here. I'm going to make this just one for now. I'm not going to worry about the gravestones. We're going to have trees, and then let's look at our woods layout. Okay. Well, actually, you know what? To start, let's go ahead and just preview everything. So yeah, it's largely barren space. Nothing really going on here. And now I am going to assign some trees. So we got trees. We'll have a rotation of 0. Trees, and trees. So the top 4 are going to have trees, and everything else will be empty. Probably should have put those on the bottom, but see what happens. Let's see if we get any errors to start. No errors. Although I'm curious as to why. We did get a key not found exception, which is not super great. So let's go to. Oh, you know what it is? I bet I should probably say if section clutter dot contains key section. Simple as that. Because it would have been trying to remove something that didn't exist otherwise. Man. I don't know what it is, but I am super tired. Okay, let's go ahead and play. Yarg! Really? Well, let's see. Line 250. Oh, right. Yeah, that would probably be a problem now, wouldn't it? There we are. Okay. This should hopefully fix it. Oh, man. It's really tired for some reason. No idea. Okay. And so no errors. Let's run up here to the top left. Aha! It's looking good. To make sure, go ahead and. Yep, that's about right. Let's try applying some rotation. So let's do this one at 90 degrees. And we'll do this one at 180. looking good. I think we got it. Yep. It's weird. They turned into almost a mirror image of each other. But yeah, so they are using different layouts, which is right. I'm not crazy. Yes. Top two are the same. Let's go ahead and make this orthographic so it's a little bit easier to see. All right. So top two are the exact same. Bottom two are like mirror images of each other, which is kind of weird, but okay. Rotation is being applied at least, which is what I was looking for. So this one, interesting. Is it being applied? Because it almost doesn't. Oh, I was looking at the wrong one, I guess. There we go. Yep, it's being applied. Cool. And then moment of truth, I guess, is to run away from it. Have everything despawn. And have everything spawn back. And it's not going to spawn in a crazy, unexpected place, which is the main thing. Yep. All right. Hooray! So now clutter is no longer bound to the actual prefab, and instead is a prefab itself that gets spawned in. So that's nice. Makes things a little bit more flexible. Man, gotta stretch. So let me think. We might get on to tackling the actual level wrapping now. I'm not gonna worry about any of the other clutter prefabs, gravestones and such. For now, that's not really a huge priority. Just getting the functionality in there was what I wanted to test. And that's not a terrible way to edit it either, having it be a drop down here that I can set with custom rotation and all that. Yeah, that should make things a little bit easier in the future too. So I guess actually we will go ahead and update the way walls spawn in, so it's the exact same way basically. Oh man, that's actually gonna suck a little bit more because walls, unlike clutter, there won't be necessarily one wall per section. There might be more. So I can't just do a dictionary of game objects. I have to do a dictionary of lists of game objects. Oof. Okay, so how do I want to structure that? I mean, pretty much exactly the way that I said it. So that means that we're going to loop through, I guess. So we'll have, I think, yeah. So we're going to say public, sorry, not public, private. No, let's do it up near the other ones. Might as well. Private dictionary wood section list game object section walls equals new. Okay. And it'll become apparent why we needed a list in a little bit. So let's see here. We are going to come through here and spawn section. God, this is gonna suck. Yep, I'm just gonna have to have an if statement here. So we're gonna say if section walls dot contains not contains. So sorry, contains key section. Say if not that. I'm gonna say section walls of section is equal to new list say section walls, section dot add wall. That's pretty much all we got to do. And we're going to do that for all 4 of our transformations here. Say that there. And right there. Then we're going to get rid of this. So we won't have walls anymore. At least not a list of them. Instead, they will be in a dictionary. So let's see, find all references. Okay, it's not being used anywhere. So now down here in despawn, despawn. That's spawn, despawn. We're going to say if section walls dot contains key section, and then we're going to say for int I equals 0, I is less than section walls section dot count I plus plus pool manager dot recycle section walls section of I. I'm hoping this will work properly. And then at the very bottom of that, we're going to say section walls dot remove section. And just to make sure that everything's sort of working properly, I'm going to say section walls dot of section dot clear. So we'll clear our list before we strip it out and have nothing reference it. Okay, that might actually be all I needed to do, which is convenient. And I guess just to do a quick test, I'm going to set up walls for the top here. And then as I walk around, they should either spawn in other areas or not. We'll find out. So let's see. Top is going to be trees. Left is trees. Top is trees. 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 And so on. Trees and right is going to be trees. Okay. So let's save that. Let's get to playing. See what happens. Oh, did it? Okay, no. Paranoia. Not a good thing. Okay, so now when we get up here to the top, we should have trees everywhere. That's good. That's what we want. And as we walk around, you should always have trees on our left. Until we get to our right. Okay, now I'm going to try walking around randomly a little bit. Just to see if they pop up. Does not look like it is going to be a problem, so hooray! Nice and simple. Didn't have to do anything crazy. It keeps track of, and it will despawn the walls in addition to the actual trees. Okay. So, yep, get rid of you. Doing that right now. And let's see. Spawn sections. Remove. Blah, 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 blah. Come up here. Double check. Nothing's using it, so we can get rid of it. Alright. So that's basically the clutter portion that I wanted to get done today. Now on to the world wrapping. This... I'm not entirely sure if we're going to get through this all today. Probably not. This is going to be a bit of an well, not an uphill fight, but a bit of a long sort of overall, I think. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull up our actual code for our Woods layout section. And let's get rid of chunks. Let's get rid of my old code that I'm not using anymore. Find all reference. Okay. Getting rid of woods chunk. Which means that I can get rid of woods chunk ID. It's going to compile one of these days. When it does. Okay. I'll make sure that nothing's using it. Maybe. If my clicks register. Which may or may not happen. So, come on. Come on, Unity. You can do it. I hate it when Visual Studio locks up Unity. I don't know why it does that. Find all references. Okay, wood chunk ID is also not being used. Boom. Okay. So, now let's go to wood section, because that is the object handling our wrapping. Seriously? I hate that. It just drives me nuts. Alright. So right now our wrapping is fairly rudimentary for the forest. In fact, right now I would say it's not really that great. So let's see here. That's Woods layout. That would be why it doesn't look like it. Seriously, where did it go? Did you just not open up Woods section? Yeah, it just didn't open up Woods section. Let's actually look at a prefab so I can show you the inspector currently. Okay, so this is what our ground looks like, or our wood section. We have basic section info, which contains everything about how it should wrap, whether it should wrap with itself, whether it should wrap with a specific target, or rather whether it should wrap with no wrapping at all. And the default behavior is going to be no wrapping. That way you can walk from section to section. But once we set up proper wrapping for the X min and max and Z min and max, we'll be able to actually sort of warp you around the level, hopefully without you seeing any of the stuff spawn in or out. I'm actually kind of curious if we'll see a flicker effect whenever we walk through a specific wrapping. This is also going to be really weird because it's not going to know what to target. So if we go to Woods layout, you can see that we have a section for wrapping that currently isn't really doing anything. It does let you target things, but it doesn't really do a good job of setting up which target you want to wrap to. So, actually, I'm kind of curious. Let me go ahead and see what this does currently. It's been a while. I don't remember. Let's see. It's going to be at the bottom, actually. Draw active section. Here we are. Wrapped left. Okay, so we're setting up our left connection. Find all references. Oh, right. Let's go here to Woods layout. We want to go to spawn section. Spawn section. Here we are. At the bottom here, once we've set up all of our clutter in our walls, we're going to say if elements dot wrap. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Wrapping. It's a enum. Oh, man. Yeah, that's not going to work either. So here's a... I don't think I can actually set up wrapping on a section by section basis. I need to have the layout listen to when you leave a section and determine where you should warp. The reason for that is it's entirely possible that a section will target a section that doesn't exist yet, or a section that is far enough away that it's despawned. So I kind of need to reevaluate how this is going to work. Excuse me. Hmm. Da, 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 da. So we are handling when the player enters the zone. And when the player leaves, right here on trigger exit, we automatically try to execute our wrapping code. But that's not going to work. Unless I have, I really don't want to do this, basically not just the sections immediately surrounding you, but also the sections you might warp to. So, for example, if we play, and I zoom out here, you can see that there are all these sections around me, and that's what we want. We want, only the sections around you to be enabled. Otherwise, they're eating up performance, which there's no need for that because you can't even see that far. So we despawn them and recycle them. But with this system that I'm thinking of, instead of only spawning the ones immediately around you, we would also spawn one far off in the distance. So let's say that instead of wrapping, somewhere around here, let's say that the current section I'm in right there, when I leave it, would teleport me to something over here. So I would need to spawn in all of these regular ones, then spawn in the last one, the one that this one would teleport me to, or any of the ones that this would teleport me to. So up to 4, I guess. And then what we would do is when you actually make that warp, that's when we'll spawn in everything else. So we won't be spawning in, another 7x7 grid. We'll be spawning in at most 4 sections. Worth a try, I guess, just to see what happens. So, oh boy. Let's go to Woods layout. Player enter zone. That actually doesn't fix my problem because the warp zone will not have been, or the target warp zone will not have been assigned. Its coordinate will. Sorry, I'm adjusting my headset. Its coordinate will have been assigned, but it itself will not have actually been created yet. And once you enter a zone, that means that obviously we've already set up everything. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. I would really rather not spawn in warp positions as they occur. Jeez. But I probably have no real choice now, do I? Okay, let me think. So, as a test run, I'm actually going to adjust this real quick. Let's go to Woods layout window. Here we are. Checkbox, color, draw section. Here we are. Oh, jeez. Hey. And I guess here we're going to say section color is equal to we're going to get our element. God, this is going to suck. I'm actually going to cache this. So we're going to say Woods layout element element is equal to this. We're going to say elements ID and element dot wrap bottom is equal to type dot none. Oh jeez, this is gonna suck. Man, let me think. How do I want to do this? Or we're just going to duplicate this 4 times. Oops. Paste. Paste. Oh, I forgot my or here. I was like, why is it still giving me a squiggle? And I'm just going to say if that, then this. And we're going to say and, or actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to worry about that. So we're going to say wrap bottom, wrap top, wrap left, wrap right. Okay. And we're going to say dot self. This is incredibly unlikely, but I'll still do it. We're going to say section color is equal to new color 0f 0f 0.3f. That's probably fine. Okay, I'm going to copy this. We're going to change this to target. I'm basically doing this to quickly identify which ones are going to be wrapping by changing their color, or the color of their square. And let's see here. And this is where it's going to be fun. I'm going to say section color equals section color is equal to this. I bet I probably can't do that, can I? Oh no, good, I can. So if it is that, which means that it has a self tag in it, then we're going to say new color 0.3f, 0f, 0.3f, else it's going to be new color 0.3f, 0f, 0f. Okay. Let's just see what that looks like. So as long as these guys don't shift colors suddenly, we should be fine. My logic should have been sound. I don't know why I was having such... Oh, dang it. Oh, these guys are set up for target. Oh, right, I forgot I already set them up for that. Okay, well, there we go. See, that's exactly why I'm doing this. So now if I set this guy up to be self, he's blue. And if we set this up to target, he's purple. So he's both. Ha ha ha. Very nice. So visual indication makes it much, much easier for us to do this. Okay, so I'm going to say over here, let's look at our woods info. Plane spawn is going to be, instead of 2 over and 0 up, it's going to be 5 over and we'll do 4 up, just for fun. So that should give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. We'll do 5 by 5, so it's more in the center. And the goal is I'm going to set up actual wrapping, make sure that everything works properly. So let's see. Bottom here is going to wrap with target, and it would be nice if I could color like its target, but that's probably asking a little too much. And then again, I bet I could try to do it, but it would not be fun. Um, so our target is going to be, let's say 3-2, I guess. 3-2. I hope. We'll find out. Because this one is 0. Oh dear. Nope, it's backwards, isn't it? Yep, it's gonna be backwards. I'm actually not sure. I'm gonna set this to none. I'm gonna just try to wrap these guys and see what happens. Oh dear, I spawned in the middle of nowhere, apparently. What happened? Why did this happen? I don't know. That is disturbing and annoying. And I bet it's because it... Okay, well, we'll set that up then. I bet it's because the current way things work, everything spawns in, and then it despawns, and then it respawns to center around the character, so I might actually change that. So let's go ahead and say woods layout. Don't need wood layout clutter anymore. Spawn sections. Let's find all references. Layout.spawn sections. On level load complete. Okay, we're going to come here, and we're actually going to do none of this. Instead, we're going to say, I hope this is right. And let me see. Despawn section. No. Should be an on player enter zone. Yep, there it is. So on player enter zone. And we're going to say, crud. It's not what I wanted. Hold on. Hold up. Let's see. Vector 2. Oh, come on. Vector 2. Start section. Start section. Okay. Now let's see where spawn called. And I believe it's, I don't even remember what it's called. There it is. Plains spawn cord. Okay, let's see what happens. I think I actually have things backwards the way I count down. I think I tried to make bottom left, so the bottom left tile would be 0, 0. But everything starts at the top and iterates down, because of course it does. So I'm willing to bet we'll actually have this. Well, actually, at 5 by 5, I should be roughly in the middle. Yeah, I mean, it's not exact, but it's there. So, positives. Anyway, God, after all that hoopla. Okay, I think I want to go here. This is where it's going to get awkward. If I'm wrapping, which it's not. I don't think anyway. Nope. So wrapping here has not been set up, correct? No, it is not. Okay, so it's not actually. That's right. We don't have it coded to initialize everything. So let's see here. Part of woods layout, and we're going to say spawn section element blah blah blah. Okay, so we're gonna comment this stuff. Clutter equals. Okay, and then wrapping. So we're going to say. So I need to set up wrapping. But, oh god, how am I going to do this? I would have to spawn in the section that it's going to warp to before this section exists. And that makes it possible to daisy chain these things, so I can't do it that way. I have to move the wrapping away from the individual sections, don't I? Jeez. That, or I have to assign these things after the fact. I apparently will have to do that. So once you enter the zone, I would actually spawn the zone that you possibly could warp to, and then assign it. God, that would suck. That might be how I have to do things. So for now, I guess we're going to just say section dot what actually is that? I guess it'd be no. Yep. Equals element dot wrap left. Yep. Okay. Then x max wrapping. Should be x min wrapping. Wrap right. Top wrap. Top wrap. Bottom. And I'm going to put these up top because I like to go top, bottom, left, right. And this is going to be y min. Seriously, wrapping. Oh, right, it's z. So z min wrapping and z max wrapping. All right. And oh man, do I actually even have a vector 2 for target? No, I have a wood section. Okay. I guess I'm gonna do this. Public vector 2 x min wrap chord equals new vector 2 0f 0f. Do that 4 or 3 more times. Z max. All right. Back here in Woods layout, we're gonna say section dot z max wrap chord equals element dot wrap. Do I have a chord? I guess it's gonna be these. Top connection, just to make sure. Let's see, Woods layout window. Come down here, draw active section. Let's see, wrap right. Am I crazy? What is going on here? Yep, right connection. Okay. So it is the connections. What? Oh, okay. Let's see, where was I? I'll just change these to X's. Okay. Bottom connection. I call it bottom side. I call it down connection. Jeez. What is wrong with me? Connection left and then connection. Yeah, we're renaming that to bottom connection. Is that stuff due tomorrow?
Yep, 8:15.
Oh, jeez. Well, let me know if you need help.
Should be pretty simple,
Okay, so let's see. That should set up all of our wrapping. Now, jeez. So that's when we spawn the section. What's going to need to happen is basically, let that compile. When we enter a section, so down here on player enter zone, we'll want to spawn all of our sections, and then we'll need to loop through its possible warping or wrapping and assign or spawn that section and then assign it to the proper field. Ah, jeez. Okay. Okay. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm gonna have to do 2 for loops here. It's not ideal, but well, would I? Would I actually need to? I don't know if I would. We're gonna say if God, of course, get section. I think I can say get section. Yeah, pass it to chord index. Nope, not what I wanted. Okay. We're gonna say woods section. Oh, not woods sections. Woods section. Section is equal to get section at the index. Of course. Get section index. And then we're gonna say if section dot what is it called? God, I should have come up with a better name. Z-min wrapping equals target. We're gonna do the same thing for everything else. So Z-max wrapping. Just change that to X-min wrapping. X-max wrapping. Okay. So if any of those equal a target, then we're going to look for the target. If it's already been spawned, we'll assign it. If it hasn't been spawned, we will spawn it and then assign it. Okay. God, I hope this works. I also hope that it doesn't despawn before we get a chance to warp to it, which might be a thing. Oh, jeez, that might actually be a thing. Yep, that's definitely going to be a thing, actually, because the way wrapping works, it only activates when you exit a section, and since the sections are flush against each other, you will enter another section before you exit the current one. So since entering the new one would cause it to cycle through and despawn ones that are not in visible range, I need to have a special consideration for ones that are actually target zones. Of course I do. Okay. Oh god, though, how is that? How would it despawn? Because it would have to happen when you leave. Jeez. Jeez. Okay, let me think. Wood section. So all the way down here, I have on trigger enter. And hey, maybe I should just have it fire an event here. Okay. On player exit. So right about here. On player exit. capital? Yeah, I'll make it capital. Okay. So let's go to Woods Manager. Sorry, Woods Layout. Oh boy. This is going to be fun. Let's come up here on player enter zone. And down here we're going to say private void on player exit zone. Vector 2 index. Correct? Yep. Okay. So now we need to go through and spawn it. And we're probably going to want to have, oh dear. Oh man. Yeah, it's going to be a dictionary again. All of these dictionaries. Private dictionary, woods section, comma, I guess it's going to be a list of woods sections. Woods section. Section wrap targets. Okay, and we're not fully out of the woods there. I actually need to set up. I'm trying to think how to do it. Because each section could have multiple targets potentially, and I need to be sure that I don't accidentally despawn the current section's targets because the last section had similar targets that would be despawned when you left it. Which means I need to know what my current layout or my current index is, so where I am currently in the level. So I'm going to go ahead and say private vector 2 current section index is equal to vector 2 0f 0f. Okay. I wonder if I could. Well, might as well just have it be part of the section. Okay, so down here on player enter zone. Okay, we're gonna say current section index equals index, because we don't want to despawn the other section yet. Okay. God, this is gonna suck. Okay, so we're gonna say we'll get sections actually work. God, I really hope I don't have to do it like a bunch of for loops. I really, really hope I don't have to do that. I'm gonna have to do that. Yeah. Yep, I am. I am gonna have to do that. Hooray! Hey. Okay. Okay. God, this sucks. And we're gonna say if section dot bottom. Oh, come on. What is going on here? Oh, right, they're min chords. Ugh. So z min wrap chord is equal to wood index. I'm probably gonna need to come up with a better way of doing this because it's not like this. Vector 2 comparisons. Okay, we're gonna say spawn section. So that's nice and easy. Spawn section. Wood index. Now we're not done yet because now we need to say section wrap targets of. Oh jeez. Seriously, get section index dot add. Jeez. Spawn section doesn't return it, does it? No, no, it's not that nice. Hey, okay. I'm gonna change some of this real quick. I'm gonna say if section wrap targets dot contains key, not dot contains key. God, this is so. Okay, well at least I can say section. Right. So section. So if it doesn't contain this section, then we're going to say section wrap targets of this section is equal to new list with section. Okay, nice and simple. The big thing here is we actually want to change spawn section to return the section that it spawns. So this is going to return woods section. I guess we'll say return null here. And down here at the very bottom, we're just going to say return section. Nice and simple. And the reason that we're doing that is so that we can spawn it and retrieve that section we just spawned in the same call. So I don't have to dig through all of my stuff again. All right. So we're going to say section wrap targets section.add spawn section. We're not done here yet, actually. Come on. There we are. Before I do any of that, I need to check if it exists. So actually, okay. Ah, jeez. Wood section, new section. No, we'll call it wrap section. Wrap section equals wood sections dot contains key. Good, it's vector 2. Wood index, woo index, wood index. Question mark. Wood sections. Wood index. Else spawn section. Wood index. And then wrap section. Okay, I think that's the correct code. I think that's the code that we want. And I need to do that 4 times. Because reasons, I guess. I can probably streamline this later. Paste, paste, paste. There's no sense to have duplicate code like this, so I will get it later. Max. Xmin and Xmax. I'll be just astounded if this works. And before we do anything else, we need to add a check here in this despawn section that just says if wood sections dot contains key wood index, and then we're going to say I hope this works. If woods, no, not that. If current section index, blah, 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 blah. We're going to say if wood sections, current section index, geez, that's not even quite right. Woods, no. Why am I having so much trouble with this? Section wrap targets dot contains key say else. think this is what we want to do. Oh god, we don't even want the current one, do we? We want the previous one. Ah, jeez. No, that doesn't. Yep, that's the one we want. We want the previous one. Ah, jeez. So gross. Okay, let me think. We don't want to despawn. No, it's the current one. It's the current one is the one we don't care about. I think. So we're gonna say, um, no, actually that's not true. Jeez. We cannot remove any of the sections from the previous, like any of the wrap targets from the previous section. We can't do that because there is the possibility that when you're walking out of the section, let's say you're going to the left, that should wrap you to its left target. But before you leave to the left, you're actually entering to the right of the next section, which means that if we cleared all of the targets, you would never actually wrap because they would be gone. So I have to instead say, you can only clear it if it's not the current one or the previous one. Oh my god. That's just a nightmare. Okay. So I need two. I need a current section and a previous section. Ay, 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 ay. Previous section index. All the way back here. And we're going to say, this is our prefab stuff. Scroll too far. Scrolled a little too far. Player enter zone. Okay. Previous section index equals current section index. Oh, jeez. Okay, let me think. So here at the very front, I actually need to. Jeez. No, we can store it locally. Vector 2, clear section index equals previous section index. So this is what's going to be weird is I can't clear the current section's warp targets or the previous section's warp targets, but I do need to clear the one before that. So I need to cache the previous section's index, then set the previous section's index to be the current section, then set the current section to be the actual current index, and then we can be fine. Oh man. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this and rethink through this logic real quick. Okay, so God, this is really just terrible. So if wood sections contains the key of the wood index that we're looking at, that means that the section has been spawned. Okay, we want that. And then we're going to say if not. See, here's the thing: is I can't assume that the woods or the section wrap targets has the key that we're looking at. So I have to say if section. Oh, jeez. No, this is just. I'm thinking this logic through wrong. I need to check to see if it has. If the section wrap dictionary has the correct key values, which are going to be the current and previous sections. So I need to check that just to make sure that, I can actually look at them. And then once I confirm that, I can loop through them all. And then I can look to make sure that this section does not need to exist. Okay. God, this is going to suck. Okay. Hey. Ah. Despawn. Despawn. Oh my god, I do not know why, but my brain is just fried right now. I cannot think of this. I know it's fairly basic logic. I just can't think. Let's see. We're gonna say if section wrap targets dot contains key. God, I really don't want to do this, but I'm going to have to. I think keep. It was false. I hate doing this. If not keep. Dot contains key. Previous section index. Oh, right. Get section. Previous section index. And let's see here. I hate doing this sort of local bool that then gets referenced. I don't like doing that. Because it usually means that your logic is sort of convoluted. And in this case, it clearly is. Contains key, get section. Current section, I guess. Current section index. Then we're going to say if section wrap targets dot oh jeez, yeah, now we gotta loop through the dictionary and then get a list and see if that contains something. So we're gonna say this again. Dot contains. God. Get section. Would index. I really should make these vector 2s instead of sections. So if all of that is contained, then we're going to say keep is equal to true. Okay. Same thing here, basically. Okay. I think that's going to do it. Now, before we do anything else, I actually need to loop through. And, well, I suppose once that's done, we can just say if section wrap targets dot contains key what did I call it? Clear selection index. Yeah, I know. Get section. And I hit insert. Hate when I do that. Clear section index. Okay, so we have our sections now. And if it contains this key, if this wrap target contains our clear section, we're going to despawn it, basically. Ugh. Okay. I think I'm almost done with this chunk of code, and then I can actually see how much of it's going to catch on fire when we try it. So we're going to say for int I equals 0, I is less than this. Say list woods sections equals. Yeah, I know this is probably not going to turn out nicely. Square brackets. Okay, and then we're going to say despawn sections is equal to this. Despawn sections dot count I plus plus. Okay, don't know how I caught a straggling end of a for loop there, but I did. And now we're gonna actually go through and do that. Okay, so we're gonna say despawn. God, I hope this works. And I really hope that this doesn't just like carve everything apart that I was hoping for. I might have to do this up at the top. I probably need to do this up at the top before we spawn everything in, which is fine. Okay. Despawn section. Of course, this is a vector 2 index, but I think we can get away with that by just saying despawn sections of I dot index. Okay. I bet our map ends up looking like Swiss cheese, but I think we have everything in there. So I'm going to say despawn unneeded wrap targets or wrap target sections spawn nearby sections slash despawn distant sections spawn wrap targets. Okay. Yes, I will be utterly flabbergasted if this somehow works and doesn't horribly break. Although actually I do think I forgot to assign this. So wrap section. Okay. Before we finish up, we need to just say section dot zmin wrap target is equal to wrap section. Oh jeez. Yeah, I definitely need to find a way to streamline this code. I do not like having it in 4 different places. Max xmin and last one xmax. Okay. Finally. Ready to light this pile on fire. Oh man. Just waiting for it to just like seize up and crash. Oh, there it is. Right off the bat. We got a key not found exception. God, it was like the first thing that happened. Woods layout 74. Hopefully this is a small, quick error. 74. Oh, wonderful. Go a little bit further up then. Get section 74, 310. 310. Okay. I guess that's not going to return a null value, is it? That's disappointing. Okay. God, I would really rather not prerequisite everything or preface everything with if it equals null. So I'm guessing we're just going to do this then. Woods sections. Wood wood sections dot contains key chord question mark. Else we will return null. And let's hope that it doesn't freak out. It probably will freak out and throw a null reference though. I was at least hoping that we would get far enough for things to be able to catch on fire, but this is like trying to throw a match into a vat of gasoline and nothing happening. Like it just fizzles out in midair. Ah, man, I thought it couldn't be disappointing, but it was so disappointing. Okay, we got a null, which is fine. Let's see, dictionary. It's the same one, so it's just not gonna play ball, is it? Yeah. Okay. Yep. So back here, 310. Oh boy. And it's happening because nothing's spawned in yet. So let's see if section blah 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 blah. Target stock contains key. So I guess I just need to check to see if this section even actually exists yet. So I should say if let's see, wood sections dot contains key, and then clear section index. So we'll wrap this, and hopefully that will actually fix it. At the very least, it should lock that part. Okay, compile, clear that out, hit play. Okay, so things aren't on fire, which is good, but oh, it might have worked. So now I should. Nope, didn't teleport me. Well, you know what? I'll take it. It's actually spawning it, and it looks like it despawns it as predicted. Ah, fuck. That time it didn't. Or I didn't do that. Oh, we got a key not found exception. Okay. Hello, Sky Code. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce your name. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Welcome to the stream. It's actually more common than you think. A lot of developers use Unity on Twitch. Okay, so let's see where our key not found exception is. Are you a developer too? I assume, just because of your interest in Unity, but let's see here. Woods layout 275. 275. Wood sections. Okay. So let's see where that despawn section was getting called from. 317. Despawn section. Layout index. Interesting. Maybe I should check to make sure. So I'm going to say if wood sections contains key index. So if it doesn't contain that key, then we will just return. Do nothing there. Developer 2. Yes. So right now I am working. So this is TextQuest. It is a first-person text-based adventure, and right now I am working on getting a level editor / level streamer to cooperate. Because I'm basically spawning in sort of 10 by 10 chunks of a level. If I hit play, we should be able to get a base of what I'm talking about, although it is a little sparse right now. I'll go ahead and maximum. Well, oh crap, did it despawn things? Oh wait, no, that's fine. So you can see that as I walk around, it's actually spawning and despawning parts of the level. And that's mostly because, well, there's no reason for the entire level to be in here all at once, especially since you can't see any farther than about 2.5 units away. Not 2.5 in-game Unity units, but 2.5 sections. So it's sort of moving the level as you move. And I'm also working on seamless level wrapping so that the forest that you're wandering around in feels really big. And feels like you can get lost in it without actually being able to get lost, because then that's a design failure. But yeah, reminds you of Minecraft. Yeah, yeah, I get that a lot. But yeah, the premise is that it is a first-person text-based adventure where everything in the world is made up of text. So as you can see, leaves say leaves, trees say tree, dirt says dirt, and you can actually interact with everything. Oh, where's my carrot? Oh dear, my carrot seems to be invisible. Probably happened when I updated TextMesh Pro. Well, in any case, so I can say stuff like examine self, insult self, eat self. And currently this level does not have a lot to interact with right now because I haven't gotten that far. I'm doing this whole level streaming thing to figure out how to do that properly and improve performance. Because the first time I worked on this level, it was pretty big performance drain. But yeah. And currently what we're trying to do is when you enter a specific zone, you can see that there's this little, if I go ahead and pause, this little island over here pops up. That's because that's a zone that you can warp to if you exit this section in a specific way. Currently, that does not seem to actually be set up properly. Well, it's set up. It's probably just because WrapX is turned off, I'm guessing. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going on with this level wrapping that's not quite functioning properly. I bet if I turn that on, I could probably get it to work. Well, that almost worked. Didn't quite do what I wanted, but oh well. If you want to test the demo, actually there is a demo of the first 2 levels. It is, well, actually, I guess the demo on the website. Let me see. It's been a while. I don't remember if I ever uploaded the new demo. No, it's still the old demo up on the website. I really should change that. Well, currently, the old demo is up on the website. The old demo is from about 2 years ago, maybe 3. It's pretty old now. I think it's actually 3 years old now. Jeez, no, it's 2 years old. Anyway, so that's the old demo. The current demo, I actually do have a more current demo that I need to put on the website. The current demo is the first 2 levels of the game. And the idea is that since TextQuest is sort of dabbling with this, genre that was really prominent in the 1980s, I wanted to sort of explore a model from that time as well, like an economic model, which would be shareware. So the first 2 levels of the game will be free. You can download it, you can play through it, and keep your save file. And then when you make the when you buy the full game, you'll be able to just pick up where you left off. Yeah, I know. I really do need to get the new one in there just because the new one has a lot of new features in it. The old demo works. It gets the core idea across, the idea of first-person text-based interactions. But it's missing a lot of the newer mechanics that I've added, stuff like combat, a brand new art flow or art workflow, or art pipeline, I guess. So the old demo does not have nice normal maps on everything. It's very, very flat Photoshop textures as opposed to super awesome normal mapped textures to give everything a little bit more pop. Like the leaves have actual leaf veins on them, and trees have bark, sort of. But yeah, but it gets the core premise across. And I probably should actually update the demo before GDC. Definitely need to do that. I have a stable demo. And that was the main reason I was holding off for so long, is because the demo that exists on the website currently is technically stable, and until the most recent demo, it was the most stable. I'm just kind of wandering around. Okay, so I don't seem to have level wrapping working yet, but I do at least have spawning and despawning of sections working. So let me go ahead and come down here. I'm curious. So I think I was doing this when it threw with a null reference. All right, it looks like that's fixed it. So I'm happy with that. Any Twitter account where I can follow the latest news? Yeah, actually, my Twitter account. It should be at the bottom of the page down there. I think it links to both my Twitter account and the game's Twitter account. Although my Twitter account is where I post everything, and usually the game just retweets me. Yeah, I've been fairly bad about keeping up to date on stuff like the website. Although I guess I did overhaul the website last year. But it's hard to stay on top of this. I don't do this full time. I can't. I got a crippling addiction to food and shelter. So I do a full time work, paying job, and then I come home and I work on this at night whenever I can, and weekends and all that. So let's see. So we do have, I think, spawning working. We have level spawning and despawning working, but we don't seem to have level wrapping fully working. And that's probably because, if I remember correctly, our wood section, the actual code that wraps, is being done in base on trigger exit. So if we go to definition here, yeah, this is where we actually set up the wrapping. And the problem was that this is set up to not do anything unless wrap X and wrap Y are checked off, which means both left and right X values. So I need to add some sort of extra fine-tuned controls there, unfortunately, which I probably can't do on today's stream, just because that code's going to be a little messy. But in the meantime, I guess I can go ahead and sort of roughly set up this stuff. And this is the level editor that I've set up for the woods. So it's color coded to let you know what sections you've assigned, what sections have wrapping set up in them. Red sections mean that you have a target. Blue sections mean that there's a self, like it's targeting itself and it'll wrap in on itself. And gray sections just mean that there is no wrapping going on for them. All right, so these are going to wrap. Let's go bottom, target, and actually, you know what? Let's set this back to none. I'm going to give this a test run real quick. So I'm going to enter the zone that I know will wrap, and then I'm going to try and force it to activate the wrapping so I can tell where I warp to. Okay, so you have a target, so we want to wrap X on you, and I think you will also have one that we will want to wrap X on. Okay, let's actually try this one. So when I leave, okay, well, I wrapped straight into a tree, but I did wrap, which is interesting. Curious if this one's still messed up. It does not have a target. Okay, now it does, which is good. What game are you working on? Or I guess, depending on how early the stages are in development, what type of game are you working on? Okay, so let's wrap X here. I'm guessing that this one actually is only going to affect it going this way. Okay, it did not. It did not do that thing. But it did it there. That's super weird. Okay, hold on. This is going to be awkward. Okay. This ground grass is not, it's disabled. Okay. Make sure that this is actually the correct thing that it's targeting at the very least. Alright, so it's targeting the correct area, which is good. But yeah, how long have you been using Unity? Let's see. So everything's set up here. It's just not wanting to wrap. X-Men. It's a target. We're set up to wrap towards this. I'm not getting choked back, am I? Where I start to warp and then I get pulled back by the zone I just entered? Let's see. 4 years? Nice. It's about, I think I've been using it about 4 or 5 years myself. Well, let me think. Actually, this game has been in development for about 4 years, so I guess 5 or 6 years at this point. Oh man, time flies. Um, nice. Do you mind if I show this on the Devstream? I always like to ask people before I show their work, make sure that it's okay. Let's see. Okay, so looking at this, so we've entered it, and then I'm gonna try to catch it with my. I'm gonna try to look at it with my eyes, see if I can catch a flicker. I couldn't catch a flicker. Ugh. That's at least telling me where it's warping to. Okay. So I'm gonna stop playing there real quick. Drag this over. So it's dead loop, correct? And I do suggest people check it out, obviously. And then, although admittedly, I'm sorry, I don't like to play videos on the stream mostly because it's a dev stream, so I like to try and keep things short whenever I have a detour. But it looks cool. Um, and I do love me some horror games. I'll have to check that out later. I've actually been in the mood for a lot of, or for a horror game. I was going to get Resident Evil 6 or 7, not 6, but kind of held off on that when I found out that PlayStation is the only one with the VR support for it, and I really want to get it for the VR stuff. Try that out. But yeah, looks cool, man. Let's see. So, yeah, we were already testing this, so. But why? Why did it warp back? Is the problem. So you can see that when I do warp, and for now, actually, I'm going to also be a little lazy down here. Let's get our code working again. It's wrapping spawn section. Okay. So we're going to say section dot wrap x. No, yeah, that should be fine. Wrap x equals section z in wrapping is equal to, or does not equal dot none or same thing for the max wrapping. How far along in development are you guys on that? Or yeah, it's always the fun question to ask people how long they've been working on a game. Let's see. So this is gonna be wrap Z, and we're gonna change this to X and X. Also, I wasn't stupid and did this backwards, did I? Nope. Okay, good. Okay. So that should force it to um, basically auto-enable those wrapping booleans, so I don't have to manually do it every time. Mostly to cut down on iteration a little bit. We're gonna try doing this again. Um, and I might have to stick a break statement in there so that it forces it to stop. Okay, so let's come down here. And that's going up. I want to come down here. We're going to go right about here. And now we should warp. So, of course it didn't actually do it. Why do you hate me? Fine. Okay. Nothing. And why does it do that? That's such a weird coordinate. I don't even know why. Okay. Hello, Garrett. How are you doing? Currently pulling out. Well, I guess I would be pulling out my hair. I got a haircut. I don't know. I'm pulling out my hair for lack of a better expression because I can't get wrapping to work. Yeah. This is a very weird wrapping issue. Oh no. That is bad. That means that we have a dictionary problem. Something was left in that should not have been. Oh dear. Oh dear, it's spawning. Oh no. The sections aren't getting cleared. That's a problem. That is definitely problematic. It's because I'm entering and exiting the same wrapping section multiple times. Yep. That's a problem. Yeah, no, it's been like 8 months since I had a haircut. So I was like, yeah, no, I need to lose several inches of hair. Uh, okay, so, oh man, we're gonna have to dive back into this mess. Let's see, sections, spawn sections, player enter zone, blah 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 blah. Okay, spawn wrap targets. Here we go. And oh boy. Do I want to do this? I guess I don't really have much of a choice, do I? I'm gonna have to say, um, if section wrap targets of section contains wrap section. If it doesn't already contain it, then we will add that. That should prevent it from spawning like that. Oh man. Oh no, this won't work. Ah. Um, Let me put this up here. I don't think this is actually going to prevent the issue because it will already have been assigned, and it's not. The problem is that I'm assigning it to an actual game object, and I really should assign it to a vector. Crap. Well, we'll see. We shall see. But yeah. I mean, on the whole, today's Devstream hasn't been a loss. I mean, I do have level streaming working, and I have level wrapping, like spawning the sections that you need working. But for some reason, I can't get the actual wrapping to work properly. So now if I go to the right, I just like pop over by one. No idea why. That's super weird. And now if I run in a circle, oh, right, I can't run that way. Zoom in over here so I can keep an eye on things. So if I run into sort of like a back and forth pattern here, I should start seeing extra spots spawn in and out. Eventually, unless that actually did fix it. I did not think that would work. I still kind of don't think that it's going to. I think it's a coincidence that it hasn't done it yet. That or I... Yep, there it is. Yep. So, crap, I really don't want to refactor that. Yeah, I was gonna have to anyway. It's garbage code right now. Oh man. Okay. Well. Let's see here. Yeah. Yep. It's because it's recycling things that were that spawn section and then immediately redoing them. But that's not. That is not what we want. Oh no, it's because I don't remove them here. Duh. That's why. I should just be able to remove them here, and that should fix the issue. Um, so I think I want to say. Da, 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 da. Section wrap targets dot remove get section clear section index. I actually think that will fix this. So section wrap target. Oh, come on. Wrap targets of get section clear section index clear. Okay. That might fix it, actually. Ah, man. I just want to... Really close to getting wrapping to work properly. Just want it to work. Don't know if I'm going to be able to get it to work tonight, though. At least not on the stream, which will make me sad. Oh, yes, and Garrett, I might have asked you this before, but for your streams, have you messed with widgets at all, like Twitch integration? I feel like I have asked you this, or maybe I just asked you about OBS. Oh right, I have to manually enable this. X. Okay, so moment of truth. We're gonna zoom out a little bit here, and I'm just gonna run back and forth. See if I can get it to spawn and despawn. Yarg. Keep running in a circle like this, and that should get it to work. I think. My God, it's incredibly hard to steer this when I'm not looking at it from a first-person angle. Jeez. So basically, want to go back and forth constantly. Oh, that was interesting. To force it to see if it's going to spawn like that. Some Twitch alert stuff with OBS on the browser source. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's what I've started looking at. I guess it's called Streamlabs now, but it was called Twitch alerts. I think that fixed it. I'm not seeing that issue anymore. So, unless I've just been getting like very unusually lucky and not having it happen. that fixed our problem. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try to integrate some of the Twitch like alert stuff so that I can thank people properly when they subscribe and all of that. I was trying to set it up before the stream today, but I got bogged down trying to create fancy GIFs. Okay, enough of me flailing around a level. I think that's probably a good place to stop for the day, actually. I apologize that we're ending right as you got here, Garrett. I feel bad about that. But I'm feeling really brain dead for some reason. I have no clue why. But let me think. What did we get done today? We got transparent chat window would be nice. Well, I don't know. I've actually thought about the chat window stuff, but I kind of like the setup I have here where I have my chat window on the right to let people see what all the chat's going on and have enough history for it. Um, that way you can watch through the whole video or watch through specific chunks and see bits of conversation instead of only like the most recent comments. And it fits because I have chat on the right, my little guy on the right. I have my sort of game information on the bottom, and then the actual desktop window up here. So I don't know. But yeah. So let me think. What did we do today? We got level spawning and despawning for wrap sections correctly set up, I suppose. We added some extra functionality to our woods layout, so we have some color coded level wrapping information. Yeah, I don't know. I try to provide context as much as possible. I feel like chat is a important part of the actual streams. Because otherwise people would just never know if I'm talking to a person or talking sort of off the cuff about something else, and they wouldn't know the context of what I was answering unless I repeated everything. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get some more fancy Twitch integrations so that I can at least properly thank people whenever they subscribe or follow or whatever it is these darn kids do on Twitch, because I apparently am an old fuddy-duddy. Yeah, so we got level wrapping, well, not working, but we got level wrap section spawning correctly working. We got some new functionality for our woods level layout, and our woods layout editor window. And that's just a tangle of code. Oh yeah, and we moved our trees to be prefabs that we spawn in, so that it's not like each section doesn't have all of its trees already on it. I actually spawn those in separately now, so I can do a little bit more variation on it, which should be nice. I might even be able to actually randomize it. That would be kind of cool, but we'll see. Actually, I'm going to put a little to do there and say what's layout element public bool randomize clutter rotation equals false. Twitch replays the chat, but if videos archived on YouTube is something that won't be there. Oh yeah, no, yeah, I forgot about that. The weird Twitch chat thing that they rolled out a couple months ago. It's like Twitch history, something like that. So you can actually see the chat in the video. But yeah, once it gets exported to YouTube, which is where all these videos eventually go, then you can't do that. So, but in any case, so yeah, we got a lot of stuff done today, which is great. Should be back on Thursday. Trying to think. We will hopefully get the woods level wrapping actually done, which means that we can properly set up the woods level finally. God, I set this up in December of last year, and it's been 2 months of just thing after thing. But it'll feel nice to finally have it all come together, and then we can finally finish this level. Jeez. So yeah. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, we should be back Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern time, same time as usual. So, don't think I have anything else to do. So, as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.